Hey guys, Aleida here from NERDSHOCK, and we're back with Basil the Wanderer on our journey through Tyria. So last time we actually completed the Battle of Claw Island. That was quite hectic, and we've been leveling up to level 80. We only need to be level 70 to start forming the pact, but because we're very close to wrapping up the core story of the original Guild Wars 2 release, I thought it would be best to just, go to 80, get some gear ready, and then it will hopefully be kind of smooth sailing during the last chapters of the story. So before diving into forming the pact, I thought, let's take a quick look at Basil's gear and stuff. So a quick disclaimer. I'm not very good in building my own, of making my own builds. I usually just take a look at metabattle.com or hardstock.gg. I know there's also Snow Crows, but I usually just go look for an open world build, kind of check for, is it somewhat easy to play? What kind of weapons are being used? What kind of build is it? Is it a build that's using an elite specialization, or is it condition, or is it like more power build? And will I be able to execute the skills right? Does it feel right for me? And of course, I'm just a casual open world player, so some people say you can actually play whatever you want, but what I think is quite important, and especially what I think is important while I'm playing through the game, even if it's story content or open world content, or doing meta battles with other people, is that I want it to feel fun. Is it fun for me to play for hours on end? And am I able to survive encounters? So I do get a bit anxious when I see my health dropping, so I probably won't be able to play a glass cannon build, doing a lot of damage but being quite squishy. So what ultimately happens is that I probably, trade in a lot of damage output for survivability. Because of course, I usually go alone through the world of Guild Wars 2. So I like being able to, survive on my own, even though that means I will probably do a lot less damage and my builds are not optimized. So you can get actually pretty far with non-optimized builds, but what I do think is important, if you do plan on playing with other people, doing a raid or, other instance content, and you need to adhere to a certain role, then you definitely need to take a good look at what kind of gear you're bringing, what type of build you're running, and what your role is in the group. But if you're solo like me, pretty casual, being able to survive somewhat on your own and still, do somewhat enough damage so that it doesn't take hours on end to get you through a story. I think that is like the main pointers that you want to keep in mind when getting a build together. And of course, you can always change things around. So when we started this whole journey with Basil, I already mentioned that I started playing Guild Wars 2 on release, and I stopped playing after Living World Season 1, and I came back to the game when Path of Fire came out. So I've been playing ever since, so I had, a lot of time to, play the game, of course, and kind of develop my own preferences for certain builds or certain styles of playing the game. And of course, I had time to craft my own legendary gear and weapons. So I have to admit, I started doing looking into legendary gear and legendary stuff when End of Dragons came out, because I really, really love the Arene weapons. Oh, I already have his swim pants on, so he can relax after this long journey. But as you can see, I have in the Legendary Armory. I also think when they came up with the Legendary Armory, which means you can use your legendary gear on multiple characters, that was definitely a motivation for a casual like me to actually look into crafting legendary gear. For example, a great sword. I love using a great sword on Guardian, but I also love using a great sword on my Mesmer. So crafting that one and being able to use that single legendary weapon on multiple characters is just amazing, and it's definitely a really great quality of life upgrade when they introduced the Legendary Armory. So when Secrets of the Obscure came out, of course, ArenaNet had super great news for all the casuals like me doing open world content and not daring to play raids. We could finally craft our own legendary gear by doing open world events, story content, and all that stuff. So, of course, I went for the Obsidian legendary armor. I actually have the light set completed and also the heavy armor set. And I'm currently working on completing the medium armor set with the tier 2 upgrade as well. So when Basil hit level 80, I already equipped the legendary gear, legendary armor, and transmuted it. So I always hide, his helmet, and I already got his swim pants on. So what's actually, the perks of having legendary armor? When it comes to the raw stats, they're the same as ascended armor. So don't worry about thinking like, oh, wait, I thought exotic was good enough. Exotic is good enough, but now with the Wizard's Vault, it's so easy to earn ascended gear, which has like the same stat as the legendary gear and is the best gear in the game. So when you go to your Wizard's Vault and check the Astro rewards, you can see I already spent a lot of Astro acclaim this season, so stuff is sold out. But you can actually, get 3 ascended armor chests in one season. Yeah, and also an ascended weapon for 600 Astro Acclaim. Of course, there are multiple ways for ascended armor, of ways to where you can earn it or maybe even craft it. But let's be honest, just playing the game, earning Astro Acclaim, and grabbing your ascended armor from the Wizard's Vault is actually really easy peasy, right? It's just great. So you can always, if you are a bit more patient, play the game, save up your Astro Acclaim, and then switch over from your exotic gear to Ascended. Yeah, especially if you just run one character, So when it comes to picking out stats, like I mentioned, I like going through the world and not dying while still doing some damage, So, yeah, so I know that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, you're heavy armor class, you're just a base guardian, you can totally do berserker and just kill everything what's coming your way. But I felt that I was seeing my health drop a lot, and of course you could say, oh, get good. Why is your health dropping? You should be able to kill your enemies first before they kill you. But no, I don't really like that. So I actually enjoy using celestial gear. I know celestial gear is a thing, like it's been kind of nerfed recently. I'm not sure if it's actually nerfed in PvP, I think so. But it's definitely nerfed in World versus World, because celestial gear actually ups all your stats. It has like all your stats and then boom, they're all upped. And something that has been stripped from World versus World is the plus 30 concentration and plus 30 expertise. So the duration of your condition damage, it takes even longer than normal, and your boon duration also takes a bit longer, and they're really tough if you have to fight a good player who uses celestial gear, and it's not fun anymore. I guess, but yeah, I actually used celestial gear when I went into World versus World to get the gifts of battle. You need those if you want to craft legendary weapons. So I, yeah, it really kept me alive. I'm not a really good player when it comes to, fighting humans. So yeah, I was quite like, oh no, I have to go into World versus World. But by the off chance, just I was just flipping cans and being really just trying to go with the commander tag and do my best. But if I would, fight a regular World versus World player, I would totally lose. But I still wanted, to have a chance, and Celestial Gear definitely gave me that chance. So yeah. But when it comes to open world, I think it's actually also pretty nice to still have that plus 30 concentration and plus 30 expertise. So yeah, well, I'm always kind of switching and seeing and looking at the numbers. I don't really, test my builds a lot. It's mainly, me on my own in the world and feeling of like playing and kind of feel if it's okay. If it takes a long time to kill enemies, you already know it's not really good. If you die very fast, it's also not very handy. So just the basic stuff is what I'm actually looking at. So yeah, oh yeah, before I forget, so why would I choose like legendary gear? Of course, because of the legendary armory, I can use one legendary armor set on multiple characters. In this case, heavy armor. So if I have multiple characters that use heavy armor, I can use it on them and just freely change my stats, which is really amazing. And I really love that ArenaNet has added, the Legendary Armory. It's really a great quality of life update. So, yeah, so I decided to give Basil also just Celestial gear. And I've added, just for funsies, the Superior Rune of the Pack to give a bit of additional stats, specifically in the plus 25 power, to give it a little edge, and also plus 10 boon duration. So I hope I should be doing a lot of boon stuff, maybe. I already actually run a Core Guardian, and I've tried to mirror Basil with my original Core Guardian, but I'm not using the Rune of the Pack on my original Guardian. So I'm just gonna see how it works out, just gonna, try it out in the story to see if it, is fun to handle. And when I go to the weapons, as you can see, I have Arene's Bite. It's a legendary greatsword. The Arene weapons, you can craft those with End of Dragons, the End of Dragons expansion. And what you can also do, of course, it's a legendary, so you can transmute it without having to spend transmutation charges. So I changed it to the Dark Asuran Great Sword, and I thought it was quite nice. Maybe I'll change it later on, but I thought for the whole vibe, of course he looks a bit funny now in the swim pants, but yeah, if you can see him on the right, I think it looks rather cool. And I currently don't have a Legendary Scepter nor Focus, so I picked pick them just like exotic versions of the Valkyrie Pearl Rod and the Cavalier's Pearl Conch, which is the focus, and transmuted the look of the weapons to the Dark Asuran Scepter and Dark Asuran Focus. And yeah, so my greatsword has dragon stats, so plus 215 power, plus 118 precision, and plus 118 vitality, and plus 215 ferocity. It has a superior sigil of frailty and a superior sigil of renewal. I kind of like the combinations that I currently have. I currently don't have the rings and accessories, but so yeah, like I said, it's kind of Basil is now kind of based on my Core Guardian that I have for quite some time now, and I quite enjoy playing him during you know, story missions and big metas and things. So overall, I'm quite pleased. I'm sure if someone is watching now and thinking, "No, girl, you're doing it all wrong. I'm going to share my build with you, and you should do this." Feel free to leave it in the comments section below if you have a build that may be a bit more, you know, or maybe you have a tip. Be careful though with links to pages, because YouTube is really, you know, very difficult with links nowadays. So I also have links disabled for spam reasons. But if you have like the whole build code thing, or maybe you can describe what kind of build you run, maybe if you also play Core Guardian. Probably, I think, to be very honest, a lot of people already have their specializations going on. But yeah. Okay, so for now, let's close this. Oh wait, I think I've skipped a lot of stuff. So I also have the legendary relic. I got that by crafting the legendary rune. That was just a short window when they said, "Oh, if you've got like blah, you can get the relic for free." And well, of course, I thought, for free, say no more. So I crafted the one legendary rune, and then with the update, I got the legendary relic for free. So I use Relic of the Trooper, remove a condition from affected allies after using a shout skill. I use shout skills a lot. I use Advance and Feel My Wrath. So I thought, you know, with Relic of the Trooper, it's a nice bonus to remove conditions, and also, of course, remove them from my allies as well. Especially handy when you're playing together, even in open world content, doing rifts or metas, or simply a boss that pops up in the world. And I also have a legendary amulet. You could earn a legendary amulet during the return to event. It's kind of different than the things you might see pop up, like, "Oh, we're going back to Living World Season 4 for 1 week." There's actually a whole achievement which you can do. So if you've played the game and play through it again, I'm not even sure if it counts when you do it just once. Let's see. Yeah. Return, and can I go back? Oh, there were just, oh my gosh. As you can see, the real magic and stuff of Guild Wars 2 is on all the achievements. Let's see if I can find it. I probably can't find it because it's a lot of scrolling. I know it has a certain name. Oh, no, Decade of the Dragons is something different. Is it the collections? Oh dear, I'm so bad at this. Well, anyway, not that super important. But even if you didn't do the return to, when it was like, okay, there's a new expansion coming up, everyone is waiting for End of Dragons. The dragon cycle is coming to an end, but before it comes out, we're gonna return to and do everything all over again. You can still play through these and earn your legendary amulet, even though, you know, this was some time ago. So don't worry about it. You can also earn your legendary amulet if you want to, of course. So let's go back to the build. So I still actually need some accessories and rings and a back item, but we can, you know, it's not that important for now. We can kind of round out our build when we wrap things up with the story and actually go into everything else that Guild Wars still has to offer. When you have the access to the Wizard's Vault, you will also get access to the Legendary Weapon Starter Kit. From what I understand, this Legendary Weapon Starter Kit is only available if you have the latest expansion. So when Secrets of the Obscure came out, you could get it for 1,000 asteroid claim, but then Gentile Wilds was released. That's currently the latest expansion. People noticed that they couldn't claim it anymore when they didn't buy Gentile Wilds yet. So that's something to keep an eye on. But it's really cool because it saves you so much money and time, and you can actually build your a legendary weapon pretty fast. So because spears is like a thing in the new Gentle Wilds expansion, there will be another legendary spear coming, but I noticed that they had Kamawali Kotaki in one of the kits, and I thought, I looked it up, it was very cheap to craft, and I thought, yo, I need to get it. So I decided to go for it, and yeah, it's so cool. It's like the shark with like, yeah. And at first I thought, I'm not gonna make it. But because I noticed that it didn't cost a lot, I already had a lot of crafting materials. So yeah, so I equipped it as a underwater weapon for now. Spear on Guardian looks pretty cool. Actually, I might finally get into an elite specialization and use my spear on it, maybe for Basil somewhere in the future. But for now, yeah, to give him also a legendary weapon in the underwater slots thing, I decided to get that one as well. So here in this corner, you know, the accessories and rings, there's still some things we can look into and earn and unlock for Basil. That might be a nice thing to strive for and look, because Living World Season 3 does have some very nice stuff you can earn and unlock for these slots. So yeah, I'm keeping my outfit on, so I'm not gonna let him walk around in his swim trunks. I will do that when we finish up the story. And yeah, let's see, because of course we had the Battle of Claw Island and lost a very dear friend. I also wanted to see at the Tybalt miniature. So he's with us. Okay, so I'm sure I forgot a lot of stuff in this little level up gear up. Oh yeah, because of course we were close to level 71 when we last said goodbye, but our third specialization is now also unlocked. So I currently have Zeal equipped, Virtues and Honor. And if we go to the trading tab, all my skills have been fully trained. My specializations are fully trained. And now that I've reached level 80, I can finally go into the elite specializations. I think I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to regular specializations, I don't really mind unlocking them partially and still equipping them. But when it comes to elite specializations, I prefer to go all the way to 250 hero points so that you can really have access to the full specialization or the full elite specialization. So I currently have 35 unspent hero points, even though I quite stick to Dragon Hunter for many years. Oh, sorry, the Core Guardian. I've played Core Guardian, for 10 years or so. But I might be for Basil, I might go into Dragon Hunter and see how it feels like when playing with a spear and getting a great synergy from Dragon Hunter. So that's something for in the future if we go into the Living World season stuff and the expansions. So for now, that's nothing to worry about. Yeah, so I think we're done here, kinda. And we're asked to report to Traherne about the campaign against Saitan. So go to Lion's Arch and to receive new orders. So let's wrap this up and kick off our next story chapter.